All right, so in the last segment, we started offsetting those windows, and we're going to complete that. So we offset 1500 first for these three, 1, 2, 3, and then we did an override for 1712. And then all of these windows are 1800 going in, 1800 going in, 1800 in. So we change the offset distance. But let's go back to the drawing now and see what the distances that we want to work with next look like. So if you look, you notice the bedroom window is right here. The bedroom window is right here. But there's a bathroom window, which is a certain distance away. So how far is the bathroom window from the bedroom window? That was a question.
3,350.
All right, 3350. So all I need to do is to offset the line that went down like that, 3350, and get this one, and then offset the bathroom window. So I'm going to do all the offsetting, and I'm going to show you how we can just trim all those lines simultaneously. So I'm taking a different approach from the door. I treated them one by one. This time we're going to do all of them and we just trim them together simultaneously. All right, so that means if I go back to my drawing, I can offset this line, 3350. If I offset this line, 3350, I can get the window for the bathroom. So it's O for offset, enter, and my distance is 3350. And then we can offset this line in this direction and then do an override for 1200, which is the next offset distance. Good. So now we have lines basically to capture all window. Now I know that this window over here is not 1500 down according to the drawing. It shows otherwise, but we are going to fix that later on. I don't want to complicate things too much. So I know that this one is, the one over here is actually 2100, right? And the one over here is 1500. However, but the two of them line up at the bottom. The 1800, if you add these two measurements on the left and the one on the right, they come back to the same place. So I will keep the bottom one, and then what I will do is just move down. After I've trimmed out between, I'll just move that line down to where it needs to be, rather than offsetting a third line. I don't have to do these unnecessary offsetting. So let's go back to the drawing, and we're going to look at how we can trim all of these. Now, all we have to do is just set cutting edges where we are going to have windows. First, set all the cutting edges, and then we are going to trim them together. So let's see, back to the drawing. So I'm going to start with the command, TR, enter. Now all I need to do, or if you wish, you can select the commands. You could select, sorry, most people prefer to select first, so let me do that. So persons will go ahead and select cutting edges where they want windows. So a window is going to be here, so cutting edge. Window along that wall, cutting edge. Window along that wall, cutting edge. Window along this wall, cutting edge. So anywhere there's going to be a window, I'll set a cutting edge on the inside. Cutting edge around here because there's a window. Cutting edge around here because there's a window. There's no window here. There's no window here. So all I did was to go through and select all those lines where a window is likely to be, because I want to trim out in between up here and down here. So if the cutting edges are on opposite wall, then you can just trim them. So I've selected all the cutting edges, about 7 of them. Then I'm going to launch my command, TR enter. If I did not select the cutting edges, then what you would do is launch a command and then go through and select all the cutting edges, and then you press enter after. All right, good. So now that the cutting edges are confirmed, all I need to do is, instead of trimming them one by one by clicking them, I could go in the space right here and click and pull. And once that window comes in contact with all those lines we want to trim, we just click and immediately after you click, you'll notice all the lines between would have been trimmed out, right? So we just set the cutting edges right around. Press enter after we set the cutting edges if you launch the command first, but if you select them, then you just press TR enter and then go through, set the window right across, watch the window. As long as it comes in contact, it's touching those lines you want to trim, you just click, all right? And then you press enter. Good. So all we need to do now is to move this one down, because we know that this one is really 2100 from here come down, but right now it is 1500, which means that we need to push it down 600. So this window is not supposed to be 1800 but 1200. So that means the difference between that is 600. So instead of using move command, I'm going to show you how you can move it without the move command. All we have to do, we just zoom back in again. All we need to do is select that line, hot grip the middle grip, keep the ortho on and pull down and type the 600. And once you do that and press enter, the line will move down. There it is. So it's no longer 1800, but 1200. So we just hot grip it, but you have to use the middle grip. If you use the end grip, it is going to stretch the line. You see that? So it has to be the, press escape, it has to be the middle grip. So you select it, hot grip the middle one, keep the ortho on and pull down. Try not to go to the right or to the left, because if nearest O snap pops up, it's going to pull the line in that direction. They have to stay in the middle, which is why it's important that you would have to zoom in to create some space between those two lines. So that when you pull down and type your 600, the line just moves. All right, so I won't move it any further. Now what I need to do, and let me just go back to the drawing to explain this, because I don't want anybody to believe that I'm actually creating doorways. These are window openings. However, my reason for trimming out both lines is because when it's time to put in the window, those spaces are going to be closed up. I am not suggesting by any means that the windows are going to go all the way down to the floor like we did for the window. The reason why I've trimmed them out is because the line weight for the wall is going to be heavier than the line weight for the window. So if I were to proceed to the next slide, you will notice when the windows are put in, you can tell the line weight for the window is thinner, so you can see the difference. And if I did not trim them out, what will happen is that when I insert the windows later on, the line weight for the wall is going to be overpowering the line weight for the window, and then you're not going to see a difference. So the aim is, and that was just a graphical strategy to ensure that you can see the difference. So it's just for graphical communication. So we trim out the two lines so that when we insert the window and put it back in, then you will see a difference between the line weight for the wall and the line weight for the window. Everybody understand that? Everybody
Yes, sir.
understand that?
Yes, sir.
That's the only reason why I'm trimming out both lines. So let me go back to the drawing. Go back to the drawing here and switch back to the drawing. All right, so all I need to do then is just trim out all of them, and the shortcut trim makes life easy. So once I type TR, which is a shortcut for trim, and press enter one more time to put it in shortcut mode, I can trim right across these 4 lines one time. I can trim right across these 4 lines one time instead of click, 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 waste time picking them one by one. Pull across and trim these together. Pull across and trim these 2 together. Pull across and trim these together, as well as pull across and trim these together. All right? And then press enter. Everybody good with that? I'm going to save the changes. So let me hit the save button. You need to get into the habit of save while you work, so that if current should go, then you would not have lost everything. All right, now that we have all of our openings, we can start putting in first door frame, and then we can put in the doors, after which we can put in the window. You know that if we were in class, we would not have covered face-to-face. We would not have gone so far if you were doing step-by-step. However, I still like the face-to-face because person get a chance to do it while I'm doing it. So I'm hoping that in this case, everybody would have gotten a chance later on to watch the video and go back and do it on their own time. Because that's the only way you're going to get it. Just watching it, you're not going to remember everything. So the advantage you will have is that you'll be able to watch the same thing that was done and you can do back the same thing than to watch video that's showing you how to trim, or a video that's showing you how to offset, or a video that's showing you how to create a layer. You get one video with everything combining, so you can see how everything is done step by step. Normally, you don't find videos like this. Videos are usually just to show you how to do a particular command, and that's it. Like how you have been seeing the videos before. So that is the issue in this case. All right, so I'm gonna zoom in the front door and we're gonna talk about this now. So I'll go back to the drawing. All right, so it's time now to put in windows and doors. But before we do that, we are going to have to put in the door frame. Now, what I have done is to tell you the size of the door frame. Remember I said it was 76 for both door frame. Why? Because one of the door frame is 38 by 100. 38 millimeters is approximately 1.5 inches, so it's not 2 inches. So even though they might say 2 before, it's not really 2 inches. That's the rough lumber. When it is dressed, it's actually about 1.5 inches. So it's still 2 before we use it, right? But it's approximately 38 millimeters by 100. Now, what is important is the 38, because if you don't have the distance, you can't fit. So for example, all I'm going to do, so I'll give you a little zoom up of what's going on right down here. I'm going to draw a rectangle over here in place, and the size of the rectangle is going to be 38 by 100. So all I need to do is use the relative coordinate with the rectangle command in order to draw the rectangle. So let me go into the drawing and do that. But before I do that, let me just talk a bit about how do you know where to put your door frame. These things that you would have covered in your architectural drawing class, which I'm just ensuring that you still remember them. If the door is going to open on the inside, like in this case here, you should flush the door on the inside, the door frame, flush on the inside. Meaning that if the door was to open 180 degrees, if there was enough space, then it can go right back there. Now, if you open the door on the, if you try to open the door when the door frame is in the middle of the wall, by the time the door gets to about a point where, let me just bring up a screen and sketch showing what we're talking about. If I were to, let's say this is the wall, and if you had put the door frame, let's say put the door frame right here in the middle of the wall, right? By the time you're ready now to create the door, and the door is going to open inside, the door is going to go against the wall like that. You can imagine when this door, every time it opens and it hits against the wall, you're going to have an issue right here. And it's going to pull the door. So the door is going to be broken off the hinge. Every time the door bangs against here, it's open and it's tight. Then it's torn off the hinge. You don't want that. So if the door is going to open on the inside, you flush it on the inside. If the door is going to open outside, you flush it on the outside. So all of our doors will basically be opened on the inside. So except the back door. Back door open outside, so we flush it outside. Right? But the front door, open inside. Bedroom door, open inside. Bathroom door, open inside. Back door, open outside. So we're going to be doing that. Now, if you want to know what swing door it is, when you're entering the space, if the hinge of the door is on the right hand side, there is a right hung door. If the door going in this room is It's also on the right hand side, so it's a right hung door. Going into the bedroom, the hinge is on the right hand side, still a right hung door. Now, this one, the back door is still a right hung door. It's not when you're leaving the space, but when you're entering the space. Sorry, not a right hung door, it's a left hung door. But when you're coming in, when you're coming into the kitchen from outside, the hinge will be on the left hand side. So you realize it is a left hung door. It's not when you're entering the space. Sorry, it's not when you're leaving the space, it's when you're entering the space. Everybody get that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so it means that all of our doors are right hung except for the back door. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna proceed to draw the door. Now the door is going to be done in door layer. So the first thing I'm going to do is to set the door layer current. Let me go back to the drawing. All right, and when I get to the drawing, I'm going to set the door layer current because all this time we have been working in wall layer. So it's time now to choose another layer. So any layer that I set current now, that's what I'm going to be drawing in. So I'm ready to draw the rectangle. So either we go up here and choose rectangle, or we type REC, enter, and we're going to click right here. We're trying to draw the rectangle in place. So since we want to go to the right from that start point, 38, and then go down, it's positive going right and negative down. So all we need to type is relative coordinate would be at 38, meaning we're going right, comma, negative because we're going down 100. When you press enter, the rectangle is now drawn in place. So the rectangle went positive 38 and then down negative 100. All right. Now I have no intention to draw another rectangle. So of course the plan is to copy that rectangle to another location. As a matter of fact, we're going to be copying to all the locations. Right? We're going to be copying to all the locations. So let's see how that is done. Ready to move on. So at this time, I would want to turn off my ortho so that I can see the rectangle following my cursor. Because if I keep it on, this is what's going to happen. Let me select the rectangle and type CO for copy, enter. And my base point is at the top right hand corner, so I'm holding it at the end point. If I move my hand up, notice the rectangle is going horizontal. I would have to go in up like that, but I want it to follow the cursor going diagonal. So I need to turn off ortho for that to happen. So either you press F8 or you come down here and click on ortho. So you'll notice that it's following the cursor wherever it goes. So I'm going to start by pasting it on the opposite side. So I'm going to come over here and snap endpoints. Click it. Good. But that's just one of the many rectangles that I need to paste. So I'm going to zoom out, pan down some more until I get to my bathroom doorway. I'm going to put the cursor there, zoom in. The closer you are, the more accurate you'll be able to place the drawing. So I'm going to move here and snap it at endpoint. It is also a right hung door, and it's flush on the inside. But over here, if I were to do that, you know what would happen? It would end up in the wall. So we are going to still hold it there and put it there. No estimating business. So before we click it, we are going to type TK to track it in place. So TK, enter, and then we're going to click there. But don't worry, I know some of you are panicking already. It's not going to go in the wall. All we are going to do is just start tracking. So we click right there, and then we start pull. All we need to do is just type the distance, how far from where you want it to stop. So of course it is the size of the door frame. So that's 38, and press enter once. But because you reach your destination, you press enter one more time. And it is pasted directly where you want it in place. So even when you are modifying, you can use your tracking. We have been using tracking all this time, but it was when we were drawing. Now we are seeing how while we're modifying, in this case, we're copying. Even when we're copying, we're still able to track. Let's do that one more time. So up here, back door. Of course, this one flush on the outside, so we can carry it all the way up here and snap it end point. So it flush on the outside. But of course, if I click here, it's going to go in the wall. So before I click, I'm going to type. Anybody remember what to type? What do we type? TK. So we're about to track. So TK, enter, and then we're going to click as if it's going to go in the wall, but all we are doing is just start the tracking at 0 position. So click and move in the direction, and then we type the 38, enter, enter. And that is how we can get all of our door frames going vertical one time without coming out of the copy command. But what about our bedroom door? No problem. We're going to take care of that. I'm going to paste an extra one down here. And of course, I can't rotate it while I'm pasting. So of course, I'm going to just paste it right there in the wall. And then I'm going to escape. And all I need to do is to use that same point as my pivot and just rotate it up to sit on top of the wall. So I'm going to select it and launch my rotate, which is RO for rotate, enter. Pick that point, which is the pivot. And of course, I need to go all the way around to there. So that angle would be 270 or minus 90. So you can type 270, enter, and you're good to go, or minus 90. Then I need to make a copy of it. So I'm going to select it. And after I've selected it, I'm going to launch the copy command and hold it at the top right-hand corner as my base point, and then carry it and paste it at the top here. And my door frames are taken care of. So all my door frames are in place, accurate as ever. So all you need to do is zoom in close up when you're doing this thing. And the closer you are, then the more accurate it will be. Of course, I'm going to hit the save button, save the changes. And I'm not going to put any door frame for the closet. The closet will have the hinge on the floor as well as at the top of the frame. So yes, you can have doors. Those most of those bifolding doors, the one that look like the lattice door, they are usually not against a door frame. I'm not saying that you can't have door frame. Yes, you can. And I might choose to give you in the assignment the door frame. So look out. There are times when I also change up the size of the door frame. So it's not, although we know in real life we tend to use 38 by 100, for the purpose of the exercise, I can change the size of the door frame. I won't change the size of the door, but I can change the size of the door frame. And if I change the size of the door frame, I would have to change the size of your opening so that it will still be able to accommodate the same size door. So look out for those things in the assignment. All right. So right now we have all of our doors, the door opening in place. So the only thing that we need to do now is to start putting in some doors. So we're at a stage, oh, but it's almost 5 o'clock. So it would not make any sense because I would have to go way past that. And I want that concept to be fresh in your mind when we get to the next class. So hopefully our next class will be online next week if we are not face-to-face. Once this COVID thing is out through the door, then we'll be able to go back face-to-face. But did you enjoy the class?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir, but I
okay.
never dare we have. I never dare we get.
Well, so it means therefore that we might be doing another online class.
Yes,
What I
sir.
will do, let me just stop the recording now because there's no need for it to go any further.